Now, in our neighborhood policy, Bangladesh is settled. It is one of the most important, or rather I will say the most important neighbor for us. India was the first country that recognized it as a nation. The longest border is Bangladesh. People think that probably China border is too big or Pakistan border is too this thing, but it's 4,900 kilometers. It is the longest border. The highest number of visas that India gives to any country in the world is from Bangladesh, 6.5 lakh. Border. That means that there are so many people who are keen to visit India or who come to India for business or for pleasure or for medical treatment or for stress studies, whatever is that. That is a people-to-people engagement. There is nowhere as it is with Bangladesh. In the South Asian countries, this is the country with which we have got the highest amount of trade. $7 billion, not a very figure that we could be very proud of. Probably there's much scope to improve on that, but the fact remains that this is the country with which we have got the highest number of trade relationships. And probably it would be a record this thing that 54 rivers, as I was hearing, flow from one country to the another. We share so many other things. We'll come to that, but the fact remains that in our neighborhood, Bangladesh is the most important neighboring country. And the last 1 year's experience that we have got with Bangladesh, we can say that we are really proud to have a neighbor like Bangladesh. We have received every comfort from them. It had been a very ideal bilateral relationship. They had been extremely sensitive and responsive to our needs, whether it was our security needs. Today I think we have got a much expanded scope or the domain in which we are cooperating, whether it is the northeastern insurgency, whether it was the coming of the counterfeit currency from abroad, whether it's a question of some unfriendly intelligence activities which are taking place on the Bangladeshi soil. That is, Bangladesh government has gone much beyond the normal things to see that the Indian interests are not hurt. Which is fully reciprocated when we learned in Bardhaman that there were certain people from Bangladesh who had come and had established certain things, they were doing something, which were not in the interest of the security of Bangladesh. And that security was as important for us. And therefore, despite certain our procedural problems, Prime Minister Modi insisted that the matter must be investigated and taken over by the central agencies. It is not only a matter of the few criminals indulging into some act which might be a violation of the Explosives Act or the Arms Act or things like that. It is much beyond that. It's a question that an effort is being made to destabilize a neighbor who is our friend, in whose stability we have got a strategic interest. We are totally aware of the fact that any instability in our neighborhood and anything which undermines their security interest or their stability will undermine our own security and stability. It's a very happy thing for us that we are meeting at a time when we had first our maritime boundary was settled through a legal process. Important thing was not that that settlement came in July 2011. But everyone in both the countries supported, accepted and stood by it. It was welcomed. It is immaterial. I don't think that it's a matter of this thing that who gained, who lost. Maybe that we are quite happy that, well, if Bangladesh has been able to get 25,000 square kilometers of the maritime this thing, it is fine. They are our neighbors. Good luck to them. It's very fine. We are happy that it is a settled maritime boundary. And that is what we wanted. And it was done on basis of some principles. You can change the principles on the basis of that could have been something else. But it was totally acceptable. It was welcomed by India. It was welcomed across the board. Whether it was the different political parties, or the think tanks, or the different shades of opinion in the country. Everyone supported it, which shows the level of maturity that has developed between our countries. Now I think it comes as a very major things that the land border, which had been hanging fire for all 4 decades, have been by the Indian Parliament, has settled that, and we are now moving in the right direction. We have also got an increased cooperation in defense matters. We have got joint training. Even some of the Indian officers are being sent to Bangladesh for training purposes. I had my own batchmates working here, or being trained here when I was in the National Defense College, about 26 years back. And we made very, very good friends. I think even General Ishad was a member of the National Defense College same years after that. So we have got this thing on the question of radicalism, on the question of extremism, the Islamic extremism, on the question of, you name a problem which relates to security, and we have got a very deep understanding and sensitivity towards that. Now, when the subject of this thing is about India relations, bilateralism, and beyond. When you say beyond, it means basically you would like to say what is in the store for the future. Is it that we have reached a stage of relationship and reached the plateau? Or is it something that, no, we have reached from where we can launch ourselves to a much greater and a much brighter future together?